Just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I think something is happening.
You had said that the long box cube and the other one were one of several groups, and that their loyalties were more factional than anything else. When we say that, do we mean that it's like factional, like conquering a new land for resources, or factional like stepping on an ant mound and not even knowing you did it?
They don't have to conquer Earth. It's already theirs. It's been theirs for longer than history has ever been recorded. And we're not the first generation of high tech people to live within that series of cycles. They already own Earth, and they're here collecting the commodities. We are going to go through our cycles as we did before, and then over anything past 4,000 and 5,000 years, and all evidence of our civilization is going to be gone, rusted, bye, never seen again. Including if you go back to the last cycle, where huge portions of land and where masses of people lived was removed by major tsunamis in the northern hemisphere, etc. There are bunches of us that are going to vanish, and then the system will redo itself again, and it may take 1 or 2 cycles for us, or 3 cycles for us to rise up to tech again. And if you look back through history, 3 cycles ago we had the Great Flood, and 2 cycles ago we had the great climate change, and then earthquakes, and continental shift and changes and all of that. And that's what's going to occur again. So the trick is, let's all live through it, and those of us who will be better for it, and those that do not, in some cases, they may be lucky.
So is it an intentional culling or just a natural reaction?
Yeah, we're not the first version of us, and they can reboot us anytime they choose. And they've even in the genome, we've talked about genome. At one point in time, we were boiled down to 273 individuals. And I don't know what the cycle on that dating was, but that was at one point in time. So, they could have a whole great reset, or they could have a semi-reset. And of course, we know about the Georgia Guidestones and everything else. And so now you can't take that as absolute, proof, but it could be just one faction's opinion. That's why they put them up. There's a whole lot of other people trying to, manipulate the whole situation, and it's not just 1 or 2, 3 groups. You've got the Draco presence, you've got the Federation presence, you've got the Nibiruan presence, you've got all the other races that are higher tech than them that are involved in this as well. And I'm sure that they've got certain amount of groups watching and documenting all of this stuff, which is exactly what alien abductions is they're judging where we are. Testing our DNA process, see how poisoned we are, see how healthy we are, etc., just like we do with wolves. And that process goes on, and we do not have a great deal of control over it. Like I've said before, we have an off switch, and they can do entire neighborhoods all at once. They can turn a whole region of people off, and then they come in and land and do their business and do what they want, and then leave, and then turn us all back on, and we roll over at night not knowing anything happened.
Let's hope they do us less dirty than we did the wolves, right?
Yeah, well, and that's a point of view as well. I mean, you have to look at it. There is a certain, discomfort in sampling animals. You got to yank a pile of hair out with hopefully a little bit of skin to it,
Oh, they're extinct in very many parts of the world where they used to be very common.
And this is why they tag people, so they know where they're at, so that when they want to do a test study on a specific individual, they can know exactly where they are. And then they come and turn your neighborhood off, or land where you're close to, turn everybody off, walk in, sample, you do the thing, turn it back on, and fly away. And there's lander crafts that come off the bigger stuff. And that's what the discs are, is little lander craft. And they, got a team that goes out, just like in Star Trek. We'll take a shuttlecraft, go down. And that's what they do. And they're, of course, getting us ready. That's what's, Hollywood getting us ready for these behaviors and acceptance. Because the difference between the tech that they use, and because I've seen some of it, and I walked the deck of, a ship and saw the control panels and everything, the shit was explained to me, and I went, oh, okay. And I understood maybe half of it. And they're trying to get us up to speed because it's a huge shock if you suddenly see ET standing there and they've got tech that's beyond you. The level of disbelief will absolutely for the next 10 years mess with you. And everybody says, "Oh, take me with you." It is not that easy to swallow. It is a complete mind messer that you have to psychologically deal with for many years in order to understand that this is actually real and you didn't dream it, because it's that separate.
Yeah, so it'd be like taking Charles Ingalls from Little House on the Prairie and bringing him to our time. He'd probably be really bored. Probably have a lot of free time.
Or shut down.
Yeah, totally.
Or shut down in the corner. Go,
Yeah.
This is too much to understand, and I can't fathom this. And where the hell have you taken me? And I want to go home. And people have they go, "Oh, I want to meet ET." And it's like, oh boy, you don't know what you're asking. You be careful what you wish for, because it's not comfortable. Because they view us as animals, and if we're not drastically enlightened, then they will not treat us with the same respect that they would, one of their co-workers or whatever, or fellow aliens or whatever. So, there is a whole lot to fathom that is beyond what humans understand, and it's a huge rug rip out from underneath your feet to even take in a portion of this. And yes, it's a difficult subject, but we've become callous because we've been doing it for a decade. So, and I say we because it's most of the people that make all of this possible, and I'm just the guy in the middle.
Well, from what I can tell, they sure appreciate it. And we're at the end here. Samuel, I really appreciate you coming on the show, and you are always welcome. Of course, reach out to us anytime you want to come on. We love having you.
But he's a robot. Without you, what could he do?
There's no limit to what he could do. He could destroy the Earth.
All vehicles close in. Let's go.